Welcome everyone to the post-game lobby. I'm joined by James Stress-O'Leary, Martin DeFiscio, and of course Feviven's mid laner.
Feviven's
mid laner. Strong start. It's been a long day, gentlemen, so let's just jump right into it. H2K's mid laner, Feviven, thank you. You've been here all day. I have no excuses to this point, but I want to start by looking back on kind of some of the series we saw this week that were pretty unexpected, I think. And the first one, it feels like it has to be Fnatic versus Giants. This one was way more back and forth than I think we expected as a desk. And DeFiscio, as the man casting it, I want to get some of your thoughts in summary.
Very interesting, very funny, very fast-paced. I definitely have to say, I don't think it's going to win awards for like insane, crisp, clean gameplay. I do think game 1 from Fnatic though with the kill was super cool and like really well executed. I actually think game 3 as well. Seems like whenever they play like these like full-on skirmish split push, the enemy team was, in this case Giants, didn't really know how to respond to it.
Exactly, and I think when they're playing against a better team, if they get into playoffs, like I don't think this playstyle will work, but against teams like Giants, they kind of floundered and it took like 40 minutes for Giants finally to win game 2. Like a lot of crazy stuff happened in this series.
Overall, really crazy to see. Feviven, we're getting closer and closer to playoffs. Fnatic haven't quite locked it yet. We'll hit on that more later, but is this Fnatic lineup a team that you're going to be nervous to play against? How are you feeling about their strength overall?
Nah, not really. I think they're fine right now. They have like good early game and they have, I think that's it basically. Like they know how to snowball, but then also they don't know how to close out games. And their play around Baron is pretty weak and they just don't seem to be on the same page. And I think we're a better team for sure. Like even in scrims, we don't have like any trouble against them. And even when we're tanking a goal behind, we still come back sometimes. So I don't think they can win against us.
It feels like their playstyle is like, okay, can we get kills? Yes, okay, we win. Okay, we can't get kills. Let's try snowball, pushing in the side lane. If that doesn't work, they didn't really have too many options available past that. It seems like they're very formulaic, right?
I mean, we didn't see that much from them. Like we saw the split pushing in the game 1 and game 2, and then this game they just snowball, and you don't really see much either. Like you just see people getting killed, and it's not like it's not like when you watch you don't see like a squad working together. I feel like moving together. Like usually Martin is alone, Reckless is alone on the side lane pushing, you know, and it feels like they're doing their own thing and doesn't look that great as a team right now.
Yeah, that was actually our story going into especially the third game where Reckless was just sitting on stage, like he was just practicing, getting ready for the next game instead of, you know, grooving with the team, discussing the strategy or whatever. It was like, okay, now Caps wants to be the carry. Now Reckless wants to be the carry. Now, okay, Broxah, he wants to also be on a skirmish. Like, each pick was like on its own able to create some sort of chaos and actually like force a fight or force like a 1v1. And then you don't win as 5. I think you won as 2 or 3. Because it was like a lot of Source and Reckless together. Being like, yay, someone is coming to the side lane to take this wave. We're gonna kill them. And they used that over and over, and Caps would like solo kill people. So a lot of individual performances, which obviously is not how you become the champions. But I think if you're Fnatic right now, you just want to make playoffs. Like, that is the only thing you care about.
Let's then shift our attention over to another series that happened on Friday. Roccat versus Misfits. We saw a lot more team play coming in there. Roccat, very clean games overall, and I think this was a huge surprise.
Can you believe it? Roccat turning their season completely around with a win over the number 2 team in the group. Misfits had been looking so clean, apart from against teams like H2K and G2, so you would think they would be heavily favored against Roccat, but so clean was the games out of Roccat. Like Faxi finally again showing up, but on different picks. Like Gragas comes out for him. We saw a lot of solid play out of Roccat in game 1, and DeFiscio, you're singing Game 2's praises all the way this week.
Loved it. I think Game 2 was super cool. Fun to see Casterden back in the meta as well. Classic European pick. I don't even think it's that strong, especially because you need so much time before you actually become super useful. But I think they played super well as a team in the 1-3-1, and I'm happy when you see like a lot of progression, especially from a team that was down and out.
Yeah.
Like, they're basically down and out.
Yeah,
and then they came
100%.
back in after beating Origin. I just wonder, Febiven, did our bottom teams get better towards the end, or did our top teams slow down?
I think the top teams just didn't improve that much, and the bottom teams like started playing full scaling comps. And we know already that like besides G2, every team is really bad at closing out games. So everyone is playing for late game and just, I don't know, people throw and I know Misfits was really ahead. Like in game 1, I only saw the solo kill mid, and then I didn't watch the game anymore. But I mean, you should win after this, and I think I don't know, Misfit doesn't look that strong right now, I feel like.
Well, let's take a chance then to kind of look at the league as a whole. We are now approaching our final week of the regular split. We have a few teams locked into both playoffs and promotions. Bring up that graphic now to kind of take a look at how this is rolling down. Of course, G2 has locked first place seed. We're now 2 teams locked in the promotion tournament as well. You kind of brought up Misfits as a team that may be struggling. Do you expect to see any huge shifts in the standings in the coming week, Febvin?
No, I think Group A will be the same. Misfits second, and then Fnatic or Roccat third. I don't know what is the problem with Misfits, but they just seem to be stuck with playing one style. Like I feel like they group a lot and they don't really know how to play on 3 lanes properly. At least when we played against them and we analyzed them, they always look for the fights. They always look to group, like their top laner groups all the time. Their mid laner usually slow pushes waves instead of like grouping. I mean, instead of like pushing all the way and like dragging attention. So I think they're good as 5, but they're just not playing well enough. I don't know.
They have looked super passive when they didn't have a clear way to start a fight. Like exactly what he's mentioning, like when they're in trying to group with like a Rumble comp, you would think, okay, now either you group around like a Dragon or Baron, they come in, you use Rumble ulti, it's great, you know, or you use it to like maybe force people off a tower or something like that. We don't really see it. So I feel like ever since they played you guys in G2, it's been very, very slow. They used to be really good early game and get like these leads with, especially Sin. Again, I keep saying it for Kakao, but like he's been forcing so many plays on it. And they've not been able to do it at all. Funny enough, also ever since Afari started playing less tanks, and he went into a period where he played a lot of pure play push, and it worked pretty well. Now he's playing like Rumble quite a bit, and I don't think Misfits are playing too well with it.
Well, let's take a look at the matches that are coming up on the table in the coming week to see what the strength of schedule looks like for Misfits, because once again, one of their opponents coming up will be Fnatic, right? And we're gonna see them in the final week, final match of the week, could be a deciding match for that playoff seed. But these weaknesses, you guys are listing them off, like we've seen them, like they're obvious to everyone who's watching. Do you think that Fnatic can exploit some of these weaknesses when it comes down to it?
I think the fact that Roccat were able to handily take out Misfits means I think it's a lot less certain. I think you asked me last week, I say Misfits easily deals with Fnatic, easily deals with Giants, but I mean, I still think that way. They should be able to win. Key thing though, in Group A, Fnatic will lock in a playoff spot if they win versus G2 or Misfits. So Misfits kind of control that destiny as well. There's a lot going on in Group A in next week's games.
Yeah, coming in very, very close on the game differential. Outside of this Misfits versus Fnatic, are you guys feeling confident, Febvin, coming in your matchup against Splyce for the coming week?
Yeah, we have scrimmed them quite a bit actually. I mean, scrims doesn't mean much, but like if you win most of your games in scrims, it gives you a pretty good feeling. I mean, like we've been doing really good in scrims, but our closing out is still like bad. Like last week, I don't know, just after IM, we still have the same mistakes. Like we're trying to work on them, like closing out stuff. I feel like our early game is really strong, but just translating it into a win without like getting too cocky or like, you know, it's still shaky. But I think we probably will beat us up a bit for this for today. And
He told us about that. Apparently he actually hit you.
I hope he will do it because it will make me like, I'm really aware of our mistakes and my own mistakes. So if we fix this stuff, I think we will be good for playoffs and for next week.
All right, well, the standings are, of course, very close in Group B right now to find that first, second, third seed, depending how things unfold. But if you're watching us at the client, be sure to hit up the post-game lobby at youtube.com/LLO Esports as we discuss what could be in store as we head towards the Spring Split Finals in Hamburg.